Warzone 4 is out, and already people are having some interesting takes about this game. Some people are loving it, but then other people absolutely despise it already. We have comments like these saying the game is actually garbage, shake my head. The game is officially ruined, and even some that says, I think they messed Warzone up, this game is garbage. And just to add a little bit of icing on the cake, popular Warzone streamer OP Mark said this: I fear Warzone has seen its best days and will not be returning to anything remotely close. Popular streamer Godku asked him why. He said, visibility is trash, audio is non-existent for yet another year, graphics are far worse than what they've had yesterday, among other things. Obviously, form your own opinion, but... So is the game actually bad, or do these guys just need a little bit of help? I went ahead and made 10 things that I think you need to know before jumping into the game right now. Starting off at number 1 is you have to know the meta. There's a lot of guns that people have been using, but as of right now, there's 2 that stand out amongst the most. First, let's go over the AR. For the AR right now, the Gripper is the meta. The Gripper has literally 0 recoil, and honestly, it hits the hardest. But the crazy thing about all these Black Ops 6 guns is that none of them really hit hard. This could possibly be because they're trying to make the time to kill higher. I have no idea, but in my opinion, all Black Ops 6 guns right now aren't really that good. Moving on to the sub, there is one gun that stands out amongst the rest, and that is the Jackal PDW. Like I said earlier, a lot of the BO6 guns don't really hit that hard, but the Jackal PDW is honestly the best SMG right now. Shout out my boy T-Captain for actually getting the time to kills for these guns, and as of right now, the Jackal has a 616 millisecond time to kill, which is the fastest gun at the moment. Now, given that it's not only the best time to kill, but also incredibly strafey, this is gonna make for a really fun meta. So for the Gripper class, this is the attachments I want you to use. I want you to use the Willis 3X, the Compensator muzzle, the Reinforced barrel, the Ranger foregrip, the Extended Mag 1, Commando grip, Balance stock, and then lastly, recoil spring. Let me know if you guys like this. This gun has literally 0 recoil. For the Jackal PDW class, I want you to put on the ported compensator, the reinforced barrel, the Ranger foregrip, balance stock, and then lastly, the recoil springs. This gun is going to be really strafey, but also not have the most insane amount of recoil. Now, moving on to number 2 is stims are back. Do you remember back in Caldera when you were one shot, you would pop a stimmy, get a movement boost, and absolutely break somebody's ankles? Well, that has officially returned, and OG stims are back. As you see right here, the stim shot is back, but look at the way they describe it. Combat stim that heals wounds, provides an immediate burst of movement speed, and refreshes your tactical sprint. So I want you to picture having 2 of these and being able to just finesse in Warzone again. Back in the day, stims were so fun to use, and I'm super excited to have these back finally. Moving on to the third thing I wish I knew sooner is make sure to change your reticle colors. So go ahead and head over to your settings here, go down to interface, then go to your gameplay HUD and scroll all the way down to crosshairs. From here, press square, and I want you to go down to the crosshair color. Go ahead and click this, and I want you to change the hex code to FFFF00. This is a neon yellow that is incredibly vibrant. I got a little bit nerdy and I found what is the most standout color to the human eye. And they said neon green or neon yellow is the most appealing color to the eye and is the fastest color to track. So I made a little bit of modifications and went the neon yellow route. Honestly, try this out. I promise you it's really good. I gave this to Diaz Biffle, Adrian, my boy Crinks, and they all loved it. Make sure your crosshair dot is on, your center dot scale is the largest, your crosshair spread is on, and crosshair opacity is at 100%. Now for the center dot scale, if this is too girthy for you, you can go down to larger or put it to default to make it a little bit smaller. Now for tip number 4 is there's a new map called Air 99. So I know you're probably wondering, where do I land? So here's a quick tip for you for all skills. If you don't want to get into too much action off rip and you kind of want to loot up before you get into the mix, I would go ahead and land on Mannequin Assembly. This has pretty decent loot. It's on the outskirts of the map and you could rotate in towards Reactor little by little. Another good place that I think you should land if you don't want to get into a lot of engagements but do get loot is Bunker. Bunker, I don't see a lot of the sweats landing there, and I do think this is going to provide you enough money to get your loadout and then push whenever you feel like it. Now, if you are an incredible sweat and you do want to push everything, I would highly recommend to land manufacturing. Manufacturing and warehouse, I believe, is going to be the new superstore. This is where I think all the best players are going to land, and I think this is going to be the most mixy spot out of every single POI. Only time will tell what actually is going to be the hot drop, but I do think manufacturing will be it. And if not manufacturing, I do think pods, which I personally landed there, during COD Next is going to be incredibly hot as well. I can see a lot of people landing manufacturing, rotating pods, or landing pods, rotating manufacturing. All the left side of the map, in my opinion, will be the hot drop. And I think if you're trying to get into the mix, if you're trying to get PRs, this is where you want to land. And for the last place to land, if you have a sniper and you want to annoy everybody in the lobby, head over to Reactor and go up to the top of Reactor and you can see the entire map. Be careful though, because there is 4 ways to get on top of this roof, but if you're careful, you can snipe everybody and you are going to be the most hated person in the lobby. Now for tip number 5 is what is the best aim assist setting? Or more specifically, not necessarily the aim assist setting, but aim response curve. For those of y'all that don't know, they pretty much removed every single aim assist type and left one default aim assist type. If you go through the settings, there's no longer an aim assist type setting anymore. All there is aim response curve. They did this to reduce the aim assist types to help balancing, which I understand why they did that. So all we have now is aim response curve type. And in my opinion, dynamic is king. You have standard, dynamic, and linear. In my opinion, dynamic is the best, then standard, then literally anything else, and then lastly, linear. If anybody is telling you to put on linear, I promise you they're trying to mess with you. Please, please, please do not listen to anybody saying that linear is meta. It is not. Dynamic, for whatever reason, feels like you get an insane amount of aim assist. Standard is not bad too. It feels like a slightly nerfed version of dynamic, but dynamic itself just feels incredibly broken. Linear just feels really, really fast and snappy, but it does feel like it's incredibly hard to control. Dynamic just feels like you get ×2 aim assist. So if you're not rocking dynamic, please, please, please put that on. For tip number 6 is your audio. When it comes to Warzone, audio has been non-existent for what feels like forever. If you're on PC, let me help you here. Right click, go down to the bottom right corner of your screen, right click your sounds, click sounds. Then from there, go over to your playback, right click whatever it is your audio setting is, hit properties, go to enhancements, and make sure to turn on loudness equalization. That is loudness EQ, and it's gonna help you hear footsteps a little bit better. Now, don't worry for my console guys, I got y'all too. Now head over to your audio settings and go down to audio mix. From here, the default is Treyarch mix, and I want you to go down and put on Sucker Punch. This has the tightest dynamic range, which is gonna help with those footsteps audio. Let me know if you guys like this setting. Try Sucker Punch or headphones based cut. These are gonna help amplify those footstep audios. Remember, audio is completely subjective, so make sure that you choose whatever you like and what's suitable for your ears. But one more setting I do want you to change here is go to your auto tab, go up, and then go to your hit marker presets here. From here, it's normally set to default, but if you like Black Ops 4 hit markers, go to classic. Getting a headshot with classic hit markers feels absolutely beautiful. If that ain't a dopamine hit, I don't know what is. Moving on to tip number 7 is make sure to utilize your knife. For those that don't know, you now have a designated melee spot for your knife. That means you have your primary, your secondary, and a knife as well. If you hold down your punch button, you bring out your knife, which grants you unlimited tac sprint in Warzone. This is going to be insane from going from one POI to another, or even finessing players in the middle of gunfights. I do think the players that utilize their knife efficiently and utilize it well are going to have that slight advantage over players who don't. The movement speed buff and the fluidity with on movement, I do think this will be a big skill gap. For tip number 8 is make sure to put on the Gunfighter wildcard. This gives you 8 attachments on your gun as opposed to 5. Now you're probably trying to decide, do I choose Gunfighter or do I choose Overkill? I'll tell you why Gunfighter is the most cost efficient. When you equip the Overkill, you get your primary gun with 5 attachments and your secondary gun with 5 attachments. Now if you want to go to a buy station and buy a gun with 8 attachments, this is going to cost you $6,000. As opposed to if you equip the Gunfighter perk, you start off with your 8 attachment gun and then you can go ahead and buy your 5 attachment secondary for only $2,500. This is what I think most people will be using just because it's significantly less money and you can use that money to buy other things. For the 9th thing you need to know is that there is a Warzone Mastery Camo grind for the first time ever. Going through these challenges, it's actually not that bad. For the military challenges, to get all your military camos, you need just 100 kills. I know that sounds like a lot, I'll explain right now. Then after that, you have 2 special challenges and then your mastery challenges. For the military camos, Plunder does work. In Plunder, you spawn in with your loadout already, and honestly, the people that play Plunder aren't normally the greatest, so that makes for easy kills. For the special camos, these challenges are dependent on every gun. For this one, it's get 5 kills while under an enemy UAV, and this one is get 10 kills while moving with the XM4. Now moving on to the mastery, which I think you guys might like these or you might hate them. The first one is Gold Tiger. The second one is King's Ransom. The third one is Catalyst, which honestly, this one should have been the last one. This one's fire. And then lastly is Abyss. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Abyss. I don't know. The white kind of throws me off here. We'll see see, maybe it might grow on me. For Gold Tiger, you have to get 5 eliminations while being the most wanted contract, which doesn't seem too bad. Then for King's Ransom is get 3 kills without dying 5 times with the XM4. Now for Catalyst, I don't know why they did this. Whoever did this, get 5 kills on an enemy affected by your stun grenade, a flashbang, or a shock charge. Why do we keep doing this? Why? But again, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like these camos? Do you guys think they're bad? My opinion, Abyss could have been a lot better. A quick side note to your guns is make sure you're changing your reticle color. Warzone does have its own reticle colors, so if you like the blue dot, Warzone is where you're gonna get these. Now for tip number 10, and for those y'all that want to hit Prestige Master, listen up. All double XPs from the previous Warzone transfer over to the new Warzone. Yes, that is correct. I have too much double XP than what I know what to do with. Now it has transferred from the OG Warzone to the new one. And if you also had double XP from Black Ops 6, this also does transfer to Warzone as well. So for those of y'all that want these crazy rewards you get for prestiging, now is the time to do it. One of these dope rewards that you get for prestiging is VMP Elite that you get from Prestige 8. Those are the 10 tips I wish I knew sooner, and I hope at least one of these helped you even a bit.